In a world run by satellites and signals, a quiet power shift is unfolding far above our heads. It's invisible, silent, yet it could redefine who controls the modern world. Just days ago, Iran made a decision that most people barely noticed. But behind that decision lies a story that could change the future of global warfare, technology, and even sovereignty itself. Because Iran has officially shut down GPS within its borders and switched entirely to China's Beidou satellite system. At first glance, that might sound technical, a simple change in navigation systems. But in reality, it's a declaration of independence, a digital rebellion against decades of American control over the skies, and it signals something far bigger, the beginning of a new era in the quiet war for space supremacy. Every day, billions of people rely on GPS without ever thinking about it. It tells planes where to land, ships where to sail, and your phone where you are. It guides food deliveries, ambulances, and even financial transactions. But what most don't realize is that GPS is not a neutral global utility. It's an American military system, built, launched, and controlled by the United States Department of Defense. From the moment the first satellites went up, GPS became the invisible infrastructure of modern civilization, and with that came unimaginable power. Because the country that controls GPS controls movement. It controls navigation, trade, and timing, the heartbeat of the digital world. A single day without GPS would cost the United States economy more than $1.6 billion, freezing logistics, banking, and communications. Now imagine what that means for the rest of the planet. The reason? A scandal. Reports emerged that location data from WhatsApp and Instagram, both owned by Meta, had allegedly exposed the movements of senior Iranian officials to foreign powers. Iranian state media claim that these platforms had acted as digital beacons, silently transmitting metadata that could be used to track and target. Meta denied these allegations, insisting its apps use end-to-end encryption and do not share exact locations. But, in the world of cyber warfare, even small fragments of metadata, things like timestamps, activity patterns, or approximate coordinates, can be enough to reveal someone's movements. For Iran, this was a red line. It ordered 90 million citizens to delete WhatsApp and Instagram altogether, labeling them tools of espionage. Then, the government took an even bigger step, cutting off GPS entirely and adopting a navigation system that its adversaries couldn't touch. This wasn't a tech upgrade. It was a geopolitical message, loud and clear. Iran was no longer willing to rely on American-controlled infrastructure, and the choice of replacement, China's Beidou, was no coincidence. Beidou is China's answer to the GPS empire. It began as a small regional system, but today it spans the entire planet. Over 45 operational satellites orbit above, providing real-time navigation, encrypted communications, and pinpoint accuracy. Unlike GPS, which offers positioning accuracy within a few meters, Beidou can reach centimeter-level precision for authorized users. It's faster, harder to jam, and uniquely capable of functioning during warfare, even when conventional networks fail. And Beidou has something GPS doesn't: a short message communication feature. That means users can send location data and brief texts directly through satellites, without internet, towers, or cellular networks. In war zones, natural disasters, or total blackouts, that could mean the difference between survival and silence. But this isn't just a technical triumph. It's a geopolitical one. Beidou isn't only a navigation network. It's a pillar of China's Belt and Road Initiative. It's being woven into ports, highways, rail systems, and defense networks across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Every nation that joins becomes part of a new digital ecosystem, one that no longer depends on Western control. For China, Beidou isn't just about satellites, it's about sovereignty. And for Iran, that sovereignty came just in time. To understand why this matters, we have to look back to the Cold War. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the world's first satellite. The U.S. response was swift. Scientists realized they could track the satellite's radio signal from Earth, laying the groundwork for the first navigation systems. By 1973, the U.S. military launched Navstar GPS, a constellation of satellites providing 24-hour global coverage. Originally built to guide submarines and missiles, it soon became the world's navigation backbone. After a tragic civilian airliner was shot down near Soviet airspace in 1983, President Ronald Reagan made GPS available to the public, though with degraded accuracy for security reasons. It wasn't until 2000, under President Bill Clinton, that GPS was opened for high-precision civilian use. That single decision transformed the modern world, fueling everything from smartphones and Google Maps to Uber and drone warfare. But behind the convenience was control. The United States could still decide who had access to the world's most precise navigation network. It was the digital equivalent of holding the keys to the world's highways and being able to close them at will. In 1996, during the Taiwan Strait crisis, China fired missiles near Taiwan to send a political message. The U.S. responded by sending 2 aircraft carrier groups into the region. American forces coordinated their movements flawlessly, guided by GPS. China's military, on the other hand, couldn't. They had no equivalent system, no independent positioning network. It was then that Beijing realized, a nation without its own satellite navigation is a nation without control. 1 year later, China formally approved the Beidou project. Beidou's reach now extends far beyond China. It's used by over 140 countries, from smart cities in Pakistan to shipping fleets in Africa. More than 1.5 billion devices connect to it every day. In Africa, farmers use Beidou-powered tractors to boost crop yields. In Southeast Asia, it powers logistics hubs and maritime navigation. And in the Middle East, it's becoming a strategic shield against Western surveillance. This isn't just technology, it's soft power. Every time a country adopts Beidou, it moves one step closer to Beijing's orbit. The world is dividing into 2 digital blocks: the American-led system, anchored by GPS, and the China-led system, built on Beidou. Both sides are racing to build alliances, on Earth and in space, and that race is accelerating. Space has become the new front line of global power. Thousands of satellites circle above, relaying signals that control weapons, finance, and communications. In this silent war, the one who controls the signal controls everything. The United States is upgrading to GPS 3 and GPS 3F, promising stronger encryption and improved accuracy. But China is already a step ahead, integrating AI-driven positioning, encrypted messaging, and quantum-resistant protocols into Beidou's architecture. While the United States debates funding and delays, China launches new satellites almost monthly. Each one strengthens the web, a digital net tightening around the planet. The next war may not be fought with missiles or tanks. It will be fought with data, interference, and control over the signals that keep armies moving and economies alive. Iran's switch to Beidou wasn't just symbolic, it was preparation. By joining Beidou, Iran gained something it has never had before: digital independence. In warfare, that means encrypted coordinates, anti-jamming resilience, and secure communication, even under heavy cyber attack. Iranian drones and missile systems can now navigate with Beidou's military-grade precision. They can strike targets without relying on vulnerable Western networks. In trade, the benefits are just as critical. Iran's oil tankers and cargo convoys can now operate outside United States-linked GPS surveillance. That means fewer disruptions, fewer sanctions loopholes, and greater autonomy in global trade routes. Beidou gives Iran what it's always wanted: sovereignty in the digital domain, and it ties Tehran's future directly to Beijing's expanding influence. It's not just a partnership, it's an alliance, built from code, satellites, and silence. For nearly half a century, the United States ruled the digital skies. Its satellites guided the world, from battlefields to smartphones. But now, that monopoly is breaking. China's Beidou is more than a navigation network. It's a statement that the age of American control is ending, and a new order is taking shape, one satellite at a time. Iran's choice marks a turning point, and soon other nations may follow. Russia, North Korea, perhaps even parts of Africa and South America. As they do, the planet will divide not just by borders, but by signals. In this new world, every coordinate, every message, every movement will flow through one of two constellations, one American, one Chinese. Two rival empires, locked in a silent battle for control of the skies. And as history has shown, the one who controls the skies controls the Earth. So the question isn't whether Beidou will replace GPS. The question is, how long until it does? If you found this eye-opening, share your thoughts below. And remember, the next world war may not begin on the ground. It may already be happening up there.